Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another day on the road to 2000 ELO Rapid Series. It is currently day number 14, if I remember correctly, and it's been going pretty well so far. I started this series at 1600 rating. I believe I'm currently at 1670, which means we have gained 70 ELO points in the last 13 days. So pretty solid stuff. The goal is to end up at 1700 rating by the end of the month. And without further ado, I think we're going to get started and hop right into the game. Just a reminder, if you're not subscribed to my YouTube channel already, definitely consider hitting that button. It helps me out a lot, and you'll find that these videos are typically pretty fun, at least for me, and I hope for you as well. So, let's hop in a game. I haven't played any chess today, full disclosure, so I'm not warmed up, but we are playing with the black pieces against d4. Against d4, I like to go d5. It looks like it's a queen's gambit, and we will decline the queen's gambit. And play this knight f6 move. I'm not thinking too hard in the opening. There's some possibilities in terms of what I want to do. I could probably go bishop b4, but then if a3 happens, I don't necessarily want to take. Instead, I'm going to go for this move, c5, which is a semi-Tarrasch defense. I've played the Tarrasch defense in a classical tournament in the past. I like this opening. I don't know too much about the semi-Tarrasch, to be very honest with all of you. But we're just going to have fun with it. And let's see what exactly is going on. Right now, I can see an idea of going queen b6. Queen b6 looks interesting to me. I don't know how good it is. The idea is you're threatening this pawn, but they have pawn takes and then queen takes. But then you're threatening here and this. So, I don't see how my opponent can stop everything as of yet. I guess knight here is something I should have considered, but then you have this check. But then bishop d2. Let's see what happens. I mean, if they go knight here, then I guess I can check this way and then win this pawn. So that's a possibility. Okay. Are they just dropping this pawn? It kind of looks like it. Maybe the idea is after here, then here? Makes sense. We'll still play it. I don't see a problem with just going this way. Queen d8 now. We drop the pawn back. It's fine. No biggie. No biggie. Let's see, what can we do? Maybe bishop e7. I'd love to go bishop c5. That's not possible because the knight looks really bad on a4. I don't want to, help it get out. If knight takes, pawn takes is not the end of the world for me. So maybe I can pick a better square for the bishop. Maybe d6 is an option. But I'll go on e7. I think my opponent probably will play g5, bishop g5 in the future. I don't want to play h6 just yet. I want to castle my king. Not very safe right now. And folks, yes, I am playing these moves very fast. Like I said, I'm pretty tired. Today has not been the quietest of days, so we'll work with it as we go. I'm worried about knight takes d5 walking into e4 ideas. I should probably calculate. Knight takes d5, e4, and then what if just knight b6? It looks promising. Can I not just take here first, though? Knight takes, queen takes, knight takes? Looks like it just wins a... Well, it doesn't win a pawn. I was already down a pawn. It also leaves this hanging, which is a little annoying. Let's go knight takes. If knight takes, pawn takes, this seems fine. Let's do it. I'm not really sure what is going on exactly in this position, but it feels like I'm holding steady. Okay, I guess I missed that, but it's not that big of a miss. We can trade queens, and I don't really mind too much. I have to watch out for this pawn. It's going to be pretty weak currently as it stands. We'll go bishop here. And we'll go, actually, pawn takes here. I want to be able to have these pawns work together. If e5, I got to just make sure that I defend my pawn. And I'm going to go bishop d7. Should I go bishop b7? Bishop d7 walks into rook ideas here on d1, and I can't castle anymore. I'll go bishop b7 instead. I think this makes more sense. With the plan being probably rook c8, castles. So let's just castle now. Bishop c7, rook d8. Seems very likely. Folks, I'm also live streaming on Twitch currently. My opponent's playing very fast. Very, very fast. Okay, let's think. Rook c8. Seems like a move. Probably going to go bishop. Oh, I hung a pawn. I hung a pawn. Okay, but can't I win the pawn back with here? The speed with which my opponent playing is throwing me off, I must admit. We'll go bishop d4, and we'll try to fork the pawns on e5 and on b2. Do I allow this rook to get in the game is the question. I don't really see the harm just yet, so I will. Perhaps it's a mistake, but it'll be up to my opponent to prove it. Now, where would I love to go? Can I maybe go f5? Perhaps even better is to try to trade the rooks. If I try to trade the rooks, bishop takes, though. It's a little annoying. And if I go here trying to trade the rooks, then rook takes. Do I care about them taking a pawn? The bishop's guarding g7. It's not the end of the world. Perhaps I can go here. Bishop takes, rook takes, rook takes. Well, the bishop can't take afterwards. Here, bishop takes, rook takes, bishop takes, and then I'm in trouble. When in doubt, no, that weakens this a lot. Let's go this way. Let's try to go after some pawns. If bishop takes, I have rook here from what I saw. I am playing too fast. This is not a good game for me. My opponent's also playing incredibly fast, though. I am down a pawn, to be fair. So my opponent's kind of justified in terms of playing speed. Let's try to win the pawn back. If I go here, the problem is that he can just push his pawn forward. Let's try it. Let's go here now. He's going to go this way. I'm going to go... Where do I go? Let's go bishop c3. Taking, if takes. Here. Oh, wait, no, that doesn't work. I think I'm tired. Okay. Let's come up with ideas. Oh, wait, this is a fantastic idea. Bishop d4. How did I miss that? Was that always an option? Bishop d4 is phenomenal. We'll take with the rook. If they try to attack my bishop, then I can just go here. And this is looking really good for me now. Let's go this way. And isn't that a big mistake? Because now they lose a bishop. My opponent's playing too fast. This is why you shouldn't play too fast when you play rapid, folks. I was definitely losing this game for the most part, for the majority of it. Let's go Bring the other rook in. And I don't know how you stop mate. I don't think you can. Okay, and yeah, I mean, I'm down to 3 minutes on the clock. My opponent has 8 minutes on the clock, and I think this is pretty instructive in terms of time usage. I probably could have been flagged if my opponent had taken a little bit of time to evaluate the threat with the bishop going on to d4. Unfortunately, for my opponent, they didn't do that, and there's no way to stop checkmate unless if I'm horribly mistaken. I guess what they could have done, and this is cool, is that they could go rook c7 or rook c6, and I cannot take because then I have I'm giving up mate. So if rook c7, for example, I would have to go like rook b8 and keep my rook on the back rank. So I kind of rushed it a tiny bit, but a win is a win. We have gained 6 elo from this game. We are now at 1676 elo. And let's take a quick look at the game review. Alright, folks, let's see how this one played out. The game started with d4, and we walked into a Queen's Gambit declined. So d5, c4, and e6 is the traditional Queen's Gambit declined. After knight f3, I decided to play knight f6. And after knight c3, I played this c5 move. So this is the semi-Tarrasch defense. Typically against the Queen's Gambit, I like to play the Tarrasch defense. So that is typically characterized by knight c3 and then c5 immediately. So this is the Tarrasch defense, but the semi-Tarrasch is usually something that the Tarrasch typically transposes to. So it's something I'm fairly familiar with. Here, the move I missed is c takes on d4, because this comes with tempo. The queen taking is not really great, and if the knight takes, which is the best option, so the queen taking is not great because of knight c6. Just to clarify, if the knight takes, then you actually have e5, you get forward motion with the pawns. After the knight goes back to f3, you have d4, and after this knight moves out of the way, typically it's going to go to d5, and this is actually the best move, where you just end up winning a pawn, and black is just up a pawn simply. And if you try to find another good square for the knight, it's really hard to find one. Let's see, like for example, knight a4, for example. Now you can just play knight c6, which defends the pawn on e5, and then play e4 on the next move if white allows you. So something like this is, very possible. And just black is way better. Black has complete control of the center, complete forward movement, 2 nicely developed knights, can put the bishops wherever they want. And, this queen check looks threatening right now. Queen check can be pretty good. The only saving grace is the queen's defending the knight. And yeah, I mean, black's position is phenomenal if I had played this. So I'll keep this in mind because I like this opening. But instead I went knight c6 and queen b6. The idea of taking this pawn. Now what white should have done, and I thought white would do, is take the pawn. Because right now this is hanging. Instead, for whatever reason, white didn't decide to care about that pawn and castled. And you know what? There's something to be said about this not being terrible. Because you attack my queen, I move my queen back, and you take the pawn. So, end up not being that bad. Here I took with a knight, which is the best move. After knight takes knight, b takes on c6. And my opponent played a lot of decent moves here. But ultimately, allowing a takes on b6 wasn't great because it helped me out in the endgame. And, I played well, I think, worrying about the bishop on the long diagonal first, and then castling. Oh, apparently castling's bad. Interesting. Why is castling so bad? Because of this. Here it says I should have played bishop c7 first before castling, so that my rook's going to be connected. I guess that makes sense, but I thought I wasn't worried about this because of bishop c7, but then rook d7 becomes a threat. And I still navigated this okay. Rook c8, defending the bishop on c7, and now what my opponent should have done probably is gone rook c1. Rook c1 first. So their idea was very strong of taking this pawn. But if they had gone rook c1 first, and then let's say I just created lift, for example, because I think that makes sense. Now bishop takes is, I think, better. Is it not better? Oh, I thought this would be substantially better. So I'm not exactly sure what the reasoning behind rook c1 is entirely. So here, rook c1, and oh, I guess, okay, never mind. I'm being silly. It's winning this pawn. Winning the pawn on c6. I can't protect this pawn because if I move my bishop out of the way, I lose my light squared bishop. If I push forward, I also lose my light squared bishop. So this pawn cannot be protected at all. So good to know. Okay, I didn't even think about that. So if white played this well and not played super fast, which was the biggest thing, white probably would have won this game. But takes, winning a pawn, still not bad, still better. But here it started to crumble a tiny bit. It allowed me to take the pawn on e5. Went for this idea of lining up the rooks, but it doesn't do anything just yet because, you know, f7 is not weak, and also g7, which is the checking square, is covered by my bishop as well. So I could have even moved my rook out of the way and tried to threaten, you know, checks in the back rank. If rook takes f7, then my rook coming in would be pretty powerful, because here I can probably do something like, for example, let's say, oh, actually I only have one move and it's rook f8. Fascinating stuff. Fascinating stuff. But the way it ended up working out is that I decided to keep my rook on f8 because I don't want to lose that pawn for no reason. And played rook a8, kind of forcing this move a3. Afterwards, bringing my rook into the game. This gets a blunder, apparently, because of bishop takes c6. But I thought that this was worth doing because it activates my rook and threatens checks. So here I went to c2 and to a2. And my opponent, unfortunately, did not realize that he could not defend this pawn, or at least cannot defend it with rook a7. Because of... Oh wait, no, he could, sorry. Because bishop d4 is covered, but he missed that bishop d4 is a threat and decided to defend this pawn on b4. And now I'm able to get back in the game. Apparently I should have taken with the bishop. I took with the rook instead for discovery ideas. The king steps away, which is ultimately, you know, what led to their downfall. Because then I have the rook check on a1. So here, after I went rook a2, my idea is checking on a1, and they have to move their bishop. You know, they have to create some space for their king to go on g2. I check on a1 and win a bishop for free. And then this is, I thought, was forced mate. It's not forced mate because you can just block. But when this happens, I just got to keep my rook in the back. So, you know, it's very logical for me to just go like rook f8, for example, to keep this safe. And then play something like maybe h6, sorry. And then I can activate my second rook, and the king is completely trapped because the bishop and rook work together. Maybe it would have been better for me to go to rook d8 to keep this bishop safe. But yeah, solid win. I'm super tired, folks. I had a volleyball tournament during the day today, and I just did a commentary on my friend Jack Sark's chess tournament over the board. So today's been a super busy day. I'm uploading a little bit late. Technically, it'll be past midnight when this goes up, which is a little unfortunate, but I'm still playing one game every day, still holding true to the upload per day. And so, yeah, we'll see. Hopefully, I'm less tired tomorrow. Fingers crossed. And I'll see y'all then. Happy to have gotten the win. 1676 ELO. Very solid. Very solid. Really close to 1700. Let's see if we can get there in the next week or so. Fingers crossed. All right. Until then, take care. See you soon. Bye.